Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Perspectives, the home edition. We're taping this on March 3rd of 2021, and I'm glad you could be with us. We have some interesting guests today, and we're going to get to them in just a couple of minutes. But first, a couple of things I want to pass along to you. I know it's been difficult over the months for us to all keep our wits about us. This pandemic has everybody isolating. We are seeing hope on the horizon. At the rate the vaccinations are being taken, more and more the numbers are going down. That's the positive sign. The negative sign, we're seeing at least 2 states that have removed all safeguards. I hope and pray that they don't see a major increase, which I suspect they're going to. One other thing before I start the interviews, there's something I want to say to you. We live in a time I've never seen in my lifetime, and I'm 77 years old. I have never seen this country as divided as it is right now. So let me just draw your attention to something, because I've heard other people say the same thing, not just 1 or 2, but literally everybody I've talked to in the past couple of 3 months. I know that you know the Pledge of Allegiance. Let me just tap on that briefly. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2 quick points. We live in a republic. Those we choose to send to elected office are in control of the laws of the land. We are a nation of laws. The downside of that is the division, the split in this country is directly in proportion to those we have sent to office so far. The only way to heal it rests in your hands. Come election day, exercise your power and vote, which brings me to the second point. Justice for all. Since we are a nation of laws, injustices are about to take place, and I suspect the Supreme Court is going to have to get involved. If the laws are changed, I'm talking about voting laws, thousands upon thousands of people will be denied their vote. Oh, they can cast them, but they won't be counted. And I'm talking about not gerrymandering, but I'm talking about a change in forced election laws. Please keep an eye on that. But remember one thing. Above all else, we are in a republic. And I want to quote something here, and then we'll get to the interviews. This was at the conclusion of the Constitutional Convention. Benjamin Franklin was asked, "What have you wrought?" And his answer, "A republic, if you can keep it." And that's my look at things today. Our first guest, Brian Horton. I have not had the chance to sit down with Brian before. I have been looking forward to this. Brian has Horton Records, and Brian, welcome, my friend.
Thank you very much for having me on today.
It's great to have you here. I understand you're preserving the Tulsa sound through Horton Records. Am I correct on that?
I would like to think that we're just trying to capture a lot of the original music that's happening, that has been happening the last decade or so around here. And some people liken it to that 70s thing where there's a lot of roots, blues, Americana, folkish kind of music that's made by a lot of folks that play in each other's bands and share each other's band members. So it's definitely easy to make that connection, I think, to a time period almost 50 years ago now, and we're seeing, similar type music being recorded and shared from this region. So, as a nonprofit music organization, we're doing our best to document as much of the original music coming out of this region today.
And like I said, you're in a preservation business, my friend. Whether you want to embrace that or not, I'm going to ink you with a label. You know, Tulsa was a stop on the Underground Railroad. That you already know. And you probably know as well that we had so many musical influences bombard Tulsa, yet Tulsa managed to come up with its own sound, didn't it?
Yeah, I think a lot of that was based on, at least from what I hear from some of the older musicians around here, people like Jimmy Markham would talk about, he would go up on the north side of the tracks to hear all of the black musicians up there, and he said that they were just trying to play like they were playing, and they couldn't play like them, so it came out the way it sounded, and that was some of what some folks said that turned into the Tulsa sound or whatever. But I do think with it, we are this kind of crossroads. We're in the middle of the country, and there are a lot of different things culturally that come together here from lots of different sources. And from that, you kind of get this amalgamation of sounds that kind of has its own unique thing at times. But I like to believe that as much as anything, being at this crossroads, a lot of that sound is based on authenticity and integrity. People are playing music and they hear all these different things around them, but they're still true to their own their own music. They're not influenced as much by the East and West Coast and the big major markets. We don't have industry people whispering in their ears saying you need to look like this and sound like that. So people are making music from a very pure place around here, drawing from a lot of different influences. That's
Well,
how I like to think about it.
you're right on target. You know, it's intriguing to me anyway to settle back and watch the young ones who are coming along. They'll go through, in some cases, to go through the business of the lessons, learning the basics, and then they just soar. They take off, and you're seeing an inventiveness, if you'll pardon the made-up word, of musical or approaches to music that really harkens back to the inventiveness of the folks that went before them.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to be able to just help out artists through Horton Records as a nonprofit that I mentioned before, and our mission's always been to help cultivate and develop and support our original artists around here based on where they're at. And as you noted, some people are just learning the basics. Other people are starting to build a really solid foundation, and some are starting to emerge and branch out beyond that. And our hope is that more and more people around the world, hear these musicians and grab a hold of them, and there's some connection made so that the music coming out of this area has an opportunity to be heard by more people, and the people involved in making the music have an opportunity to have a career. It may not be some meteoric rise or some of the commercial aspects of something like The Voice or American Idol, but if somebody could play music and make a reasonable living, and have a roof over their heads and a car to drive, I think most people around here would be really, really happy about that. And I don't think that's setting the bar low. I think that's being realistic and staying true to their craft.
I think you are absolutely correct. Tell me something, as a nonprofit, is it your goal then to position these recordings where others can hear them? Are you going to sell them? What will happen ultimately?
Yeah, the way that we're set up is we work with artists on a project by project basis. There's no real formal I signed to Horton Records kind of thing. There's my quote, air quotes. So it's really project by project. And our goal is, once again, to hopefully prop some people up, get their music heard, get it out there, and maybe somebody can grab them and take them further in their career. We have had a lot of success in attracting investment in our mission. And that's from people outside of Tulsa and outside of Oklahoma. We currently have an organization that supports us and it's based in Colorado and in California, and they're providing, support for publicist resources and booking resources and things like that. So it's a lot of fun to and very rewarding to see other people connect with what we're doing, all with the notion of giving independent artists an opportunity to have a career.
I really would love to throw support to your organization. How do I help? How does anybody out there help if they want to help you in the direction you're moving?
Great question, and I get that a lot. And really helping us means it's helping our Tulsa area musicians. So if you want to directly contribute to Horton Records, you can just go to our website, hortonrecords.org, and they're all tax deductible donations, contributions. But really, if you want to help the music community, a lot of it is buying people's music. Don't just stream it, actually buy it, buy their merchandise. When the pandemic hopefully eases some, hopefully we see some light at the end of this dark tunnel, go out to live shows. Tell a friend about a band you really heard or a band you like. Listen to RSU radio. They do a great job of promoting our local artists, but a lot of that is just making those connections and sharing music with other people, and then going out to shows. That makes a huge difference when you're buying merchandise and you're attending shows and paying for a ticket or a cover charge or whatever, and then spreading the word. I mean, it seems so simple, but really that's how music communities grow, and artists have an opportunity to have a career whenever people get behind them in that way.
Part of the problem, as you well know, has been we're sort of hamstrung in being able to get out because of the pandemic. But as I said earlier, there is such strong hope on the horizon. I think the president issued a statement today said in effect, there will be enough vaccine available by the end of May for every adult in this country. Working at that speed and doing a little quick transfiguration, if you will, you can almost tell the day that we're going to throw back the covers and say, okay, let's go eat. And that means, more musicians will be exposed, which is exactly what we need. Before I let you slip out of here, Brian, one quick question. Have you, in your path down this road, have you had any surprises? Have you come across anybody out there that just blew your hair back?
I think that happens a lot, and at the same time, hopefully this doesn't come across the wrong way. But the more music that you hear, and the more artists you hear perform, it's a lot. You can kind of get, it's very saturated, the marketplace. It's very easy with technology for people to record and put music out. But I think probably for me personally, there have been a couple of artists and groups that have really kind of knocked me out the first few times I heard them. One was John Fulbright, who's I think he's perhaps one of the greatest American musicians going today. And I don't say that lightly. I really believe that. He's a great guy, and he's just phenomenal. And then the first time I saw Sarah Frick, she's this young girl, has a band called Golden Ones, and it was just
her name, battered about.
Yeah, she just has this stage presence. She's this powerful voice, and she's just high energy. And we had this Back to Paradise project where we paid tribute to a lot of older Oklahoma artists, and she covered a Dwight Twilley song with a backing band called "I'm on Fire" and just knocked it out. And then there's one last band I would say is there's a band called.
We're gonna have to hurry here. Go ahead.
Okay, there's a band called Freak Juice, which is an all-black heavy rock and roll band around here that also has ska, reggae, funk influences. And Tori Ruffin is just this phenomenal left-handed guitar player, and he's done all kinds of stuff, and it's off the radar. Most people don't know about it, but those are some recent bands, and then John Fulbright really is just phenomenal. So yeah.
Hey Brian, we're out of time, buddy. Let's do this again. All right.
That would be great. Thank you so much, Sam.
All right, my friend. And anybody with questions, go to Horton Records. Easy to find on the web. Take a look at what they've got and what they're doing. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.